Good morning, Card Community. It's RJ, and it is time for the Sunday Trivia Recap. Dun dun dun! Yay, fireworks blasting and all that. Okay. Anyway, um, so Monday's question. It was Monday was the day after Mother's Day. So, in keeping with the Mother's Day theme, I asked a question. This man is Casey Candell. Guy had a decent career in the major leagues, nothing spectacular, but Casey Candell had a mother who had a unique connection to the game of baseball. Who was Casey Candell's mother? Casey Candell's mother was an individual named Helen Callahan, and Helen Callahan once played in the All American Girls Professional Baseball League. Now, this is not Helen Callahan. It just happens to be a card I have of a member of the league. So this is not Helen Callahan. Don't misquote me on that. But Casey Candell's mother actually played pro ball, albeit for the All American Girls Professional Baseball League. And I did read somewhere in researching as answers started popping in, that she actually did. Her and her son represent the only two people ever with a mother and son combination that played pro ball. Don't know that to be the case. It's kind of cool. But anyway, that was the question. The prize for getting that answer correct will be this Babe Ruth 2022 Diamond Greats die cut. Nothing wrong with getting a cool Babe Ruth card, you know. So the individual on the screen correctly knew that information. There's one guy at the end of the list here. I want to get his name in, but it doesn't fit on my screen. So anyway, we're going to spin. We shuffle shuffle once first, and we spin. And remember, because I have so few people in the list, I always make sure I spin it. And you have to hit 3 times. Kind of draws out the drama a little bit, okay? So spin number 1. Here we go. Hope you all had a great week. Been a little slow for me on getting new acquisitions for my collection. I've been doing a little bit more eBay rather than trades. I haven't been able to secure many cool trades recently, but I'm working on that. Still trying to finish up those a couple subsets from this year's tops. That Diamond Die Cuts is one of them. So look at this, Adam's Card Closet, 2 out of the gate. I don't know what I'm going to start picking a different. I'm going to have to start selecting a different picking mechanism because this picker wheel just isn't doing random enough. I don't know what's going on. You get too many people getting like 2 or 3 hits and too many people getting none. You know what I'm saying? But we'll keep going, see what happens. Maybe I need to wait a little bit more time before I hit spin again. You know, I don't know what it is, but anyway, yes, I hope you all had a great week. I did participate in a couple breaks recently. Been showing off a lot of stuff from Kevin's budget card breaks because there's just so much of it. I was thinking I got a whole bunch of Phillies cards from Kevin a while back, and I mean like hundreds and hundreds of Phillies cards. A lot of the guys from the late '90s, early 2000s, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with all these cards. And someone had reminded me, well, I shouldn't say someone had reminded me, I know that there's a service out there called ComC, which I can't remember what ComC stands for. It's actually an acronym having to do with baseball card collecting. But you can send your cards to ComC if you have a Goody G steals it. Goody G. All right, so Goody, I think I have your contact information. If I don't, I will shoot you an email real quick and let you know that you have won the Babe Ruth card. There you have it. So that is 3 for Goody G. You can see down here. We will move on to Wednesday, I should say. Wednesday's question. Prize was a little cooler, so I made the question a little harder. Got this Devi Garcia Topps Archives Snapshots, the negative style card, numbered out of 25. It's actually 25 out of 25, so that's a cool card. I think there's still some people out there who have high hopes for Debbie Garcia as a pitcher for the Yankees. I don't know. But these individuals correctly got this question. The question was, what two teams were, in the modern era from 1900 through today, kept the same name, but played in three different cities? Okay. Now, the answers are the Braves. The Braves were the Boston Braves when they came into existence. They were one of the earlier teams that's ever been there. The Boston franchise in the National League has been around since the start of baseball, pretty much. But they have been in Boston, and they played in Boston through 1952, and then they moved. They moved to Milwaukee, and they were in Milwaukee through 1965, excuse me. And then in 1966, they moved to Atlanta, where they currently reside. So the Braves have been around for a long time, but played in those three cities in the modern era. The other one was the Athletics. Now, the A's started out in the new American League right around 1900, 1901, and played in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Athletics. Then they moved. They played in Philadelphia through 1954, and in 55 they moved to Kansas City. And the Kansas City Athletics played in Kansas City until 1967. And upon 68, they moved to Oakland. So your Oakland Athletics, as they are today, started out in Philadelphia. Now, some people had mentioned that there was a third one, but I knew there was a third one, and I specifically put in my description, I said, but you cannot include any teams that may have switched locations in the early days of the American League. So I said from 1903, in the description, I changed the comment to 1903 through 19 to today, because there were a couple teams that, from the original American League, the American League, when it first came up, that didn't fare well, so they shifted cities. One of those was a team called the Milwaukee Brewers. Believe it or not, the Milwaukee Brewers were a charter member of the American League, but they played in 1901, but were bad and didn't draw enough people there. So the American League switched that franchise to St. Louis, and thereby started the St. Louis Browns. And the St. Louis Browns played in St. Louis through the 1954 season, whereby they switched cities and went to Baltimore and became the Baltimore Orioles. So in that particular case, while it was a team, an actual franchise still in existence today that played in three different cities, they also changed their name every time they moved. So it didn't necessarily qualify for my answer. But everybody who's up on the board did get it right. Even the ones who piped in with Baltimore Orioles did so by naming the other two teams as well. So, sorry for that long, drawn-out response, but here we go. I'm going to shuffle once, spin, and again, you got to hit 3 times to get it right. Goody G, you are out because you already won. Spinning, here we go. So yeah, I was saying, I don't even know what I was saying before I stopped and blathered on about that. That's okay. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about sending my cards to ComC. I got all these Phillies cards, and we all have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cards. I'm sure I've got so many cards that are not considered quote unquote my collection. They're just doubles and triples and boxes of collections I've bought over the years that I use for trading. But I'm constantly getting more and more cards that don't necessarily fit into my collection, but I'm not going to throw them out. They're cards. We're not going to get rid of cards. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with all these cards, and I haven't sent anything to ComC before. I bought from ComC, but I'm thinking to myself, I might want to do that. A lot of these late 90s and early 2000s cards, while they don't have high value, people buy them a lot because they're cool, and you have master set builders of various people. What do I want to say? Super collectors of various players like myself who are desperate to get all of the cards of certain players. So I'm thinking, let me send all these cards into ComC and let's see if we get any hit there. I think that's what I'm going to do. I do not know if anything will happen. Maybe I'll just, dictate, or I'll have you follow along as I do and see what happens, what comes of it. So just that's probably what I'm going to do with all those cards from Kevin's Budget Card Breaks. Is I'm going to take the effort to figure out how to do it and then send them off to ComC. Adam's Card Closet. Adam, congrats, sir. You are the winner. That is your third hit, and you are the winner of this cool Debbie Garcia snapshot card. All right, be sending that off to you in the near future. Might throw a couple other things because I've been sitting on some things for Adam for a while now. So now that I got an excuse to send him something, I might toss in a few goodies there too. So no promises, Adam. No promises. So moving on to Friday. Okay, so Goody G and Adam did not send in a response for Friday's question, but we have it nonetheless. So Friday, little interesting question, I thought. Difficult to get some people to get this answer right. Let me tell you a story. Here we go. The question was, what card company took its name from the local PC in which one of the founders was standing one day? And I raised the question about local PC because I picked up some things from my local PC when I filmed that video, showed them off that day. But the answer is the Upper Deck Company. Here's a 1989 Upper Deck, just a guy named Greg Briley, but it's one that I had lying around, show off my Upper Deck card. And the story as I heard it is, okay, there was a guy, he was a printing executive. He knew how to publish and print things. And he was in the card store in the mid to late 80s, like 86, 87, around about that time. And it was the height of the counterfeit era. People were counterfeiting Jordans. They were counterfeiting some of the very expensive rookie cards of the day. Your Clement, the 84 Fleer sets, 84 Mattingly, which was still crazy. Cards like that were really taken off in value, especially the Fleers. Your Clemens, your Puckett, and the 84 update set were going for obscene numbers. And people started counterfeiting cards, and it became a real problem. So this guy, I can't remember his name, but he was in the Upper Deck store. He was actually in a store out in California called The Upper Deck. That was the name of the card shop. And he kind of offhandedly said just offhandedly said as he was staring at this card, he said, I could put a hologram on the back of that card and make it tamper proof. And the card store owner perked up and said, what? And they struck up a conversation, and through a lot of talk, planning, negotiation, sponsorship and whatnot, they formed the Upper Deck Company. So that's where the Upper Deck Company started. It was the hologram on the back of the cards that was, revolutionary because it was supposed to be counterfeit proof then. And, it took the company by storm, and the world's never been the same since. So the answer to the question is it was the Upper Deck Company. Now, this is the prize for that answer, is the 2022 Topps insert the 2001's Greatest Hits Shohei Ohtani card. So everybody up there on the screen was able to correctly get, and in fact, some of them didn't get it right. I just put everybody's name up there who guessed because there are so few for this one. So even if you got it wrong, I'm going to still put you in the loop, okay? So here we go. We shuffle once, and we spin, and you got to hit 3 times, so good luck. So, I'm going to try and do a ComC bulk send in and see what we get. I think it'll be interesting. I haven't ever done it before, and I got so many cards that I think they're worth it. We've all got cards in our collection that we have extras of, and what they are is they're really nice $1.50 quarter cards, but nobody has interest in these. Very few people are gonna go out of their way to contact us to buy you know, our 25-cent cards or trade our 20. They got other things they're focusing on, you know, with their money. So I figured if I go to ComC, that's what ComC is kind of known for, you know. They that's what they do. They have every card ever imaginable practically sitting up there ready for you to buy it. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just take a whole bunch of cards, put them in a box, ship them off to ComC, and let ComC run with it. And if it stays there for the rest of my life, it stays there for the rest of my life. But at least it'll be out of my house and taking up room and not going anywhere. So I think I'll get around that sometime this week or maybe next. Sometime this, let's say sometimes before the end of the year. Jeremy Michaels. Oh, Jeremy hits again. Jeremy's one of my regular winners. He's got some kind of glitch in my system, I think, that makes him win all the time. But congrats, Jeremy. So there you go. Those are your winners for this week. I hope you all enjoyed that little trip and excursion. Sorry this was too long, but I was bloviating on some stories today. So, all right, there you have it. Hope you all enjoyed that. Like I said, I will have more great trivia and prizes for you this coming week. Some really cool videos. I want you to stop by. I'm going to highlight the Baseball Card Hall of Fame vote. I want to make sure everybody else participates in that. So stop back at least to see that, all right? So that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Take care.